No.
All right. So we don't need a transition on that, innit?
Let me just do it again.
All right, people, we are back. We are back. For some reason, some of you people were believing God did this, man. Because the next question is, which God? Which God?
I told you.
You know what I'm saying?
I have told you.
And if God did do it, how come we're back doing the same damn thing? Just a question.
It was a warning.
Just a question for the believers.
It was a warning.
It was a warning.
Yeah, warning shot.
All right. Well, this is the clip.
Tread carefully.
Here's my babes Kalechi in the comments.
Come on.
All this because he likely wants to pay for a hair transplant.
Damn. Damn. But yeah, this is the clip in question. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this, man.
All right. Let me just make sure the echo isn't on. And let's go.
Understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors.
All right.
What's the title? He doesn't let them leave until they get $40K dollars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, to be fair, we might have to play it again in like 5 minutes or so, just so that everyone can get back in the chat. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that though, man? Do you feel like he's out of order? Do you feel like, wait a minute, this is just some motivation? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, what's your thoughts?
I think it comes across the thing is, you should never force people to want to give, innit? People should want to give from the kindness of their heart. Like, you closing the doors and like, it's really giving like ulterior motive. Like, even if I can get 1,000 people to donate online, in person, anyone standing on the stage, like, it's too, like, if people want to give, they will give, innit? Do you understand what I mean? So I don't like the approach. I don't like the message. It sounds very like forceful and doesn't. What do you need the money for? What do you need 40K for in this moment right now?
For the gospel.
Okay, so how?
Once you give us the money, then we can, I don't know, pay the people up there on the stage, right? You can also pay me, and we can also pay the ushers. Maybe not the ushers.
Why not? Why should the ushers not get paid?
Just because I've never thought of ushers getting paid. But okay, even better.
No, because the thing is, everyone says church is a business, right? And obviously, if you are someone who is like, I'm never going to look down on a pastor for getting paid because it's a full-time job. I don't get how else are you expected to pay your bills? Do you get what I mean? So, but in the same breath, it's about, I guess, like, if you're gonna pull up with 5 different Lamborghini Uruses and a Gucci mink coat, and you know what I mean, it's just, it's like, what are we really doing here?
But someone like Marvin Sapp, who's not doing that though.
Yeah.
You know, he looks normal. You know what I'm saying? Should we maybe give him the benefit of the doubt? He's been putting in work for decades.
Which I understand, but again, what do you need the money for? And why, again, the approach, everything about it I didn't like, because it's a different conversation if it's guys, we need to get a bigger church building, right? We no longer fit in this building. We're having to turn people away. We can't continue to have like several services, or the building that we're using, they're charging us too much rent now, and it's not making any sense.
Yep.
So it's about time that we went out and got a space on our own. That's a different conversation. So again, my question is context.
Okay, so even provide that one. That same context there of, you know what, the rent's gone up. We see how the economy is now. We need to get our own building ASAP because I don't see this getting any better. The Holy Spirit has told me in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll be paying 4 times the amount if we don't have our own space. Do your work, people.
Yeah, I think that's a fair conversation.
Okay. So his approach, do you feel it's a bit too harsh?
That
still?
approach is still not context. What I'm saying is the context behind it, I feel like will make a difference, right? In understanding where his approach is coming from. I just don't think his delivery or his approach sits well with me. Does that make sense? I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to get a bigger church building if the church building that you're in now, like I said, you no longer fit or it's not making sense. So the next step is for you guys to go out and do it on your own, and you're gonna need money to do that. Do you get what I mean? So it's sewing back into the church, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But like I said, like, what do you need 40k for? Because you've said people cannot leave until you get 40k, like now. So what's the rush? Like,
yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I get you. Brent, what's your thoughts on that? When you first saw that, what are your thoughts? Do you feel like it's out of order? And after you give your thoughts, can you play the video again, please?
Yeah. Black Rob says the example Eman gave is exactly what Philip Anthony Mitchell did recently when asking for money. Is Philip Anthony that fella?
The one that I sent you, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it's the exact same thing.
Can you tell us about?
Because he spoke about the church. Like, he spoke about why they needed the money. So
Yeah,
he spoke about what I said, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Black Rob was saying. He's saying that he was asking for big money, but he was very specific.
But was he? Didn't he come back and say, no, we've already looked at pattern this, that, and the next?
I didn't follow up, so the only thing I saw was them needed money for a building, or I think it was going to get closed down, or there was something basically to do with where they were. So they needed funds.
And he also said that even whilst they were looking for money, they looked to gift another church money for their particular spot because they knew that God had them. Yeah, I might have basically done more research than you who brought it to me in the first place.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
why did you bring it to me anyway?
That's not why I brought it to you. Exactly.
It wasn't it?
No,
was it?
If that wasn't
you
why I
were
was
basically saying that that's the type of guy.
No,
That's why you've been going to Lakeside.
Are you dumb?
I've just connected it.
Wow.
Hey, whatever brings you to God.
You know what?
Whatever brings you back to the altar.
You know what?
Whatever brings you back to the altar, babes.
I'm about to. You see? Wow.
To be honest, that's a bit of me. That's
not why though.
What?
You know what? Do you know
Brent? I don't want to divulge your business, to be honest. And the more we talk, the more that might happen.
Yeah, so whatever, man. Whatever you feel helps you sleep better at night.
It's all good. It's all good, by the way, people, because the outcome is here in church, which is good. How do I feel about it, Emmanuel? I don't like when I see stuff like this because I don't know what preceded this and I don't know what followed it, right? But based on just the clip alone, locking people in to sow seed, I don't know what. I don't know that. I don't know. Is it to save somebody? Is it some sort of organ transplant that? I don't know. Do you understand?
But even if it was though, should that make a difference?
This is group economics, right?
I don't know about that.
This is the clip or the topic of the day that fellow wanted us to talk about.
I'm not sure.
Obviously, in the church, you shouldn't be doing it like that. This is not how you should be moving in church at all. Especially when it is you're wearing a Rolex, apparently.
Can you wear a Rolex now?
Well, this is the conversation you were having before. Remember when you were saying that pastors should be allowed to drip and drunk?
If they work for the money, why not?
Yeah, this is Emmanuel's taking Gina, you know.
But I guess what? No, but then do you know what it is? Yeah, if you're a pastor, but you also have like something on
private jet and all kind of stuff.
I wasn't even going to talk about that.
Right,
I was just saying, like, if your job, like, if you're a pastor, but you also have businesses and whatnot, yeah. Like, I think it's a bit unfair to accuse you to say that all your money comes from you've stolen the money from the
Exactly.
church if you've worked hard. Does that make sense?
Is that where we're going with this though?
No. But I'm just saying in terms of him saying that they shouldn't be, you saying that they shouldn't be allowed to drip.
No, I think I wanted to introduce the question. If he is dripped down and he is then closing the church doors and squeezing the congregation for a little $20, I don't know if it is that is like a good image, a good presentation.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
But what are you like? What would you expect? Would you expect him to be like, okay, cool, Rolex off. This is what I've done. Church, follow. Give the £20.
Yeah. Why not start with you, right?
But how do we? What if he said, okay, guys?
That's why I said I don't know what preceded this.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what preceded, and I don't know what followed it because he might have volunteered 10K already. Do you understand? But still forcing people like. I don't know if it's symbolic. Him saying close the door, right? It might just be a case where he was, in this, not the spirit, a spirit, and he just got carried away, and he really wanted people to focus on the message, right? The message being, let's raise this money for this thing. It's going to benefit all of us.
I think the thing with the internet, though, that we also need to remember and understand is clickbait is a thing in it. So there's a reason why someone has put that specific title on that video and only shows that part and hasn't shown the part that leads up to it. It's all for engagement. So it should just bear that in mind. Yeah.
But Imai, I think he's just asking us to conceptualize that there's nothing preceding or following this. Let it
this is
be
just
the
it.
sentiment that is being displayed. Yeah.
And if it is, again, I don't feel the approach personally.
Yeah.
Because, again, I feel like knowing how sensitive that topic is in Christianity, in Black Christians and the Black church especially, I think it's quite damaging as well. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
because
100%.
there is a lot of the narrative is that like a lot of black pastors, African pastors, mega churches, all of that stuff, like it's all a con. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that this doesn't help
At all.
that narrative.
And this is not, Jesus wouldn't do this. And you're supposed to be mirroring Jesus.
How do we know?
How do we know that Jesus didn't do it? Because we don't have any evidence that Jesus has done stuff like this.
No, but you said Jesus wouldn't do this.
Well, based on what we know of Jesus and the records, he has never done this. And we are supposed to be following Jesus, so we are basing it on the records of Jesus. I don't think that you can make an argument to say that he would have done that, because I did ask you, show me the passage.
I can make an argument for anything. but like, where's the line drawn on what is coercion, though? On what is fair tactics?
Close the door. Don't let them leave. Imprison them until they pat their pockets. That's like saying, jump up and down. Do you remember them days? Not
Jump up
that
and
you
down.
were ever a victim.
What's that?
Jump up and down. What you got in your pocket?
Nah.
Let me hold your phone.
Oh yeah, them days. Yeah.
Let me hold your phone.
But you feel like that's the same thing?
You're forcing them to give you something.
Okay, but do we actually believe?
You're coercing them to give you something.
Do we actually believe he would keep them in there for another hour?
But that's why I said it might be symbolic. It might just have.
I don't think that, but yeah, but he.
Do you feel like some people don't recognize what goes into making a church run every single week or 3 times a week? And so sometimes they feel like, oh no, we just have to motivate the people, we have to push the people, because if we all want this church stuff, right, then it's going to cost. And you notice what he said? He said, like, it costs to be up here. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you feel like people don't recognize that? And maybe this is, I don't know, his approach?
Jillian just says, one time a pastor said the youth couldn't go home until we all spoke in tongues.
That's jokes.
There you go.
Can you remember them times?
Yeah, when you were trying to.
When everybody was saying you're not a Christian until it is the
No,
you
you can
speak
speak in
in
tongues.
tongues.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a thing.
That was in season 2.
Yeah.
Burning EVs with jeans. Getting
Everyone's
rid of all your
insane.
secular music.
Everyone
Do
is
you remember?
insane.
Do you remember
You're not allowed to basically
the
yam
truth behind
people.
hip hop?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember that period?
Yes, I do.
Oh my days! I remember it like it was yesterday.
Can
and
you
I was-
give them some context? Because
Please.
we've
So-
got some 19-year-olds in the
Oh
group.
yeah, so
Yeah,
I was
for
in
real.
secondary school. So this was early 2000s, right? So between, I don't remember what year. Let me actually go to Google and find out.
They say 2004.
Because I was old. I feel like I was like 15. It was like later. I left, yeah, about 2004, right? And there was it was a DVD, I remember. And it was basically talking about the truth behind hip hop and how like evil and dangerous like secular music was, and it broke down certain things. So for example, like Bone Thugs and Harmony. The thing is, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So do you remember Bone Thugs and Harmony, Crossroads,
Yep.
3-6 Mafia? It gave Snoop Dogg. It gave a list of like rappers who had quote unquote sold their soul
Yes.
to the devil, and if you were to listen to their music backwards, or like if you played their songs backwards, you'd hear like the chants or like them praising Lucifer and whatnot. And I remember the 3-6 Mafia one, it was the high song, yeah. And you know, like I'm not gonna sing it, but there was a bit and it was like, you are God, you are King Lucifer. Like it was a whole thing. And this DVD took over I remember any black youth church.
Every single church had it.
100%.
It shook up it was a thing.
Did you burn anything?
No.
Did you stash it away though?
I didn't really have those songs, but what I stopped listening
They
to
started
like.
with songs, but they didn't went into apparel.
Yes,
did
they
it?
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that? What apparel?
Ivisu.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I never knew that. I didn't get that
It is
far.
a
And I
Visu.
had Visu jeans, boy.
Ivisu's got the Buddha on the back, innit?
No.
What's the one with the Buddha? Is it the True Religion?
True Religion is the Buddha.
So I think True Religion
Visu's
had
the
Yeah,
squiggle.
Yeah, that one.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know it even went that far. Is it in clothes?
You know when they're on the run, they just keep going.
Okay, so I didn't make it to the clothes part, but I remember I just never listened to 3-6 Mafia. I didn't listen to Snoop Dogg, and obviously they spoke about, what was that song? Do you remember there's a famous Snoop Dogg song,
Murder was the case.
Murder Was the Case. And then even in the video, like,
Yep.
and in the lyrics, he talks about having a conversation with the devil,
Yep.
and oh, what a time,
100%.
boy.
DMX. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and me, I love me some Dark Man X, you know. I love me some Dark Man X.
DMX was in that heavily.
Yeah.
And a lot of 5%ers, Nation of Islam people were
Yeah.
in there as well. They're like, listen to the words they're saying. They're saying God, peace, God, and all that sort of stuff.
It was very, very big in America.
Mm-hmm.
It was an American thing, innit? And then obviously it leaked over here. But I just remember like youth church back then. It was a time. And then and I feel like that's when a lot of people, like, not a lot of people, but like became born again or like literally kind of like stopped listening to like secular music. And like I saw like certain individuals literally going a completely different direction.
100%.
But yeah, I just remember that. I remember that time like it was yesterday.
That didn't work
The
on me.
truth
boy.
behind hip hop.
That was like forced youth marriages as well, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, certain churches did that.
Imagine saying you can't have sex until it is that you marry the person that you're attracted to.
What, basically Christianity?
No, don't do that.
Like
Don't
what
repackage what I've said to make me look like a bad guy.
What the Bible says.
Basically, when anyone in the church showed interest in somebody else, they then fast track them into marriage counseling.
The thing is, I remember there was a period, again, I didn't ever go to any of those kind of churches, but I know that people that did would say like a lot of people were kind of forced to get married quite young.
They were 17. Crazy.
Potter's House is kind of known for that, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Potter's House. A lot of their people get married early.
I just imagine a lot of your faves used to go to church every Sunday and go also pray meeting on Wednesday. Look at all the tourists they are now. I'm doing everything.
Oh, life.
Oh my god.
Oh, life.
There's a comment you put on the screen. What was it? Where's it gone, bro?
It was this one. Noble. Having collections in front of people on Sunday forces people to flex / give out of shame too.
Do
Yes.
you feel like that's a point?
Collection plates. I mean, there's a thing to it being open. as opposed to like a box or something
Yeah.
where people, they get the envelopes to put their money in or their checks in and close it and then slip it into the box. There is a thing where you're passing it along and the bowl, you can see what your neighbor's done.
Yeah.
So you feel like kind of convicted. You
I
know?
don't remember the last time I saw a collection bowl, boy, in church.
Now you see the
Now it's
card
electronic.
reader.
Yeah.
No, I don't even see the card reader. It's just the bank details are on the screen,
Ah, okay.
and you can just do it.
I like
in-
that.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like
I
that.
don't remember the last time I went to a church where you had a card reader. They literally just put it on the screen,
Yeah.
and that's how you give. Which I think is obviously now everything's electronic, innit? So
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot more sense.
See, I was going to ask you guys, like, what do you feel about that? Like us moving into that sort of electronic realm.
That's where we're at. We can't argue with it. Who carries cash? I don't carry cash. So the expectation for me to carry cash just, again, like doing everything electronically makes sense.
Do you feel like it makes...
Also, for example, yeah, and I think even like, you know, like back in the day where it's like the collection bowls would be at the front and everyone had to walk around. Like, I don't know if every church did it, but like mine growing up, you had to walk.
Yes.
And if you
dance
didn't
as
have
well.
money, it's like, would you do? Just walk and put your empty bare hand in there?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Or you sit down. and
Yeah,
everyone
or you
go
sit and everyone
past-
goes
yeah.
past you. So I feel like, again, if you're talking about shame and stuff, that's
That's the same as close the door.
so I.
Join the line. Join the line. And don't you dare not have your hand in the bowl when it is that you... have you ever seen somebody take from the bowl?
No, have you?
Yeah, I have.
That's
Really?
insane.
Yeah. In my church, but nobody had a problem with it. Only because the person was from the outside.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I thought you was going to say they were like mentally something.
No,
No, I thought you were gonna say they were poor.
but they were homeless.
Okay.
Yeah. So nobody corrected them.
I guess it's going to go to them anyway, innit? In some way, or their organization.
Yeah, if it was a good church.
So, all right, watch this, yeah. So, like you said, yeah, obviously you kind of gave collection.
Your cologne, man.
Thank you, Brent.
Not you, Gina. It's outdoing yours, man.
Oh, is it that
Yeah,
bad?
it's drifting.
Because he's close to you, boy. Sorry about it. Sorry.
You know the whole collection thing, like you said, yeah. Like I guess to be fair, some churches have kind of worked collection giving and all that sort of stuff multiple times into their service, innit? But do you feel like this modern approach of just having the card details on the screen is kind of can be more intrusive? Because then you can just leave it on the screen the entire service.
But again, most churches that I've been to that do that don't do that. So when there's time for collection, it's on the screen only for that period of time. Does that make sense? Like it's when it's time for offering. That's when it's there. It's not like it's on the screen the whole time. It's not when I walk into the service, it's not there. It literally comes on for that moment. Once that moment is done, it disappears and you go about your business, like, and then the service continues. Whether that's at the beginning, middle, end, wherever. But I prefer that approach.
Do you feel like if this was, I don't know, Jesus came for the first time today, and he was a pastor, he would be up for passing the collection bowl around twice
No.
Why twice?
because he didn't get enough in the first time?
And you have churches like that, mind you.
Do you?
You have different
How do they know
collection.
how much they've got though?
and they say
based
it's
on
for
weight.
different things.
That's it.
They say it's for different things.
Okay.
Yeah. Based on weight.
Is that bad though?
As in more than once?
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. If one is for the pastor, one is for the upkeep of the church, one is for tithes.
But can I be
no.
honest?
If
Why do we need, and this, I guess this is my thing, innit? Why do you need to separate all of them? Like, I feel like that's when you're kind of just like just let people give. And then I feel like it's for you to then like divide it accordingly.
yeah.
But there shouldn't be pressure out because in the Bible, it just says you should give 10% in it. It doesn't say that you have, like in the Bible, does it say give money for the pastor, give money for the church, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it does that. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. So my thing is, why, if we're meant to be following the teachings of the Bible, why is it, okay, if we're doing offering, like you have to give offering for the pastor, you have to give offering for the congregation, you have to give offering for the church, you have to give offering for no.
But does the Bible even talk about the 10% being mandatory though?
I don't think it is mandatory, is it?
Yeah. So if that's the case, that means I can give less, or I can
but
give more.
of course, you can give.
And it
My
shouldn't
thing
be an
is,
issue.
God knows your heart, innit? At the end of the day, so give what you're happy giving.
I mean, back in the day, it used to be like produce and livestock, innit?
Yeah. Farmers, all
And
that.
that,
Yeah.
just evolved into like dinero. Is it dinero? Naira? What's it called? Monies.
Yeah.
What's the question, Emmanuel?
I don't know. What did I just ask you, Gina? I can't remember. But that side though, yeah. Because the reality is this, yeah. At least I feel as though sometimes we don't look kind of what goes into certain things, innit?
Yeah.
So again, like Marvin Sapp said, yeah, it costs to be up here.
Yeah.
And the question I want to ask you guys, if the church you go to, you're loyal to, but then the church stripped down the production value, for lack of a better term, yeah, do you think that would make the collection lighter? Honestly. From your pocket and also from the rest of the church.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't look at it like that. Like I guess for me, I don't go there and give based on what I'm getting. That's one thing I don't. If you get what I mean. Like I feel like with everything else, you ideally you're paying for what you get, right?
Yeah.
And you're paying for a specific service. In my head, I don't go to church and give based on the service I'm receiving.
You sure?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Mm.
I don't think of it like that. I'm not gonna be like, oh, because because what's it called? The screen wasn't working today, and I couldn't see really clear on the big screen. I'm gonna give less than the offering. Do you get what I mean? Like that's absurd. In my head, it's absurd.
But
Like literally.
What's the question?
do you feel as though the experience at church affects how much you give?
Yeah, I think people are emotionally driven to show. I believe so. And that's why they play the music whilst you normally, do the offering.
And this is basically what I'm getting at. So I feel
Sometimes you do worship, like people come and sing. Yep.
you know, I'll say what I want to say afterwards. If you don't mind, Brent, can you play the clip again for those people who came late?
Let me just play this one first. I think I mentioned on Friday that I was going to put this up.
Come on.
But mine. So, why is it important for TMB not to separate themselves from the wider community? This is something that I spoke to Brent about in the initial stages. The reason why I think it's important is because at the end of the day, for me, inclusivity is everything. Like, there's power in numbers and there's power in people coming together. And I think that is why that is super important. I've realized it myself in life, you know what I'm trying to say? Just having a black community or a community where the minority in terms of numbers is not necessarily going to be something that can reach the masses. And naturally we want everyone to be able to see the stuff that we put out and the stuff that we create. You know what I'm trying to say? And we want people to learn from the stuff that we're putting out. I think that's, a super valuable and super important. So I'd say, yeah, man, it's super important that we aim to reach a wide audience in every aspect. In many cultures, whether you're American, Indian, Chinese, I want you to be able to understand the stuff that we're trying to do. You know what I'm trying to say? In all of the different aspects of the content that we're going to put out. Hopefully, I'm trying to say I can make a movie one day and it can live on the platform of The New Black. And yeah, man, people can enjoy it from all over the world. Blessings, man.
Just need to break up the gospel stuff for a bit. Let's play this clip again.
And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. And they
Now, upon hearing it again, I might shift my opinion just slightly, right?
Okay.
Just slightly. Hear me out. I know there's more than 1,000 people in that auditorium.
Yes.
And essentially, he's just saying he only needs this amount of money, this amount of people to do this particular small thing.
Yeah.
And he's looked behind him and seen his staff, that includes his people,
Yep.
right? And he's telling them, lead by example. Do you understand? He's telling them, these members of this particular church who have this particular role, and y'all are probably, some of y'all are even getting salary. Put your hand in your pocket and show them how important this particular cause is.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, I don't know what procedures, I don't know what came after this. This might be for them to have, I don't know, the resources to open up a library in the building, or to put on a soup drive.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It might be really, 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 really good for the community. So maybe I might just adjust my positioning, just off the back of just hearing it again. And I didn't hear him turn to his people on stage and ask for them to give 100 before.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear that before.
Okay.
So yeah, I've slightly shifted.
Okay.
I don't know if that collapses anything, but I'm going to be the person on this particular panel now to slightly shift.
Okay. Interesting. Gina, you still maintaining your position?
I feel like, again, I think context is needed. So I think the approach could have been better. And I still stand by that.
What if it was for a private jet?
Oh, hell no.
100%.
Hell no.
Serious.
What do you mean? Why do you need a private jet?
So that he can maneuver and go and preach the gospel whenever he needs to. Do you get what I'm saying?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
You can take a domestic flight like everybody else.
No, not always. There's certain places you can't go to just like that. You know what I'm saying?
But in the event of you having to go to those places that we're talking about, it's not that often. So in terms of the
and also just restraints by time.
the amount of times you want to do it in comparison to the cost, it's not going to make sense.
Okay.
We had T-Pain, Teddy Pinterest down, whatever he wants to call himself,
Yeah.
talk online and say people laughed at him and asked him why he was on a domestic flight. He said, I remember, I saw it recently and it was like, do you know it costs, it was a crazy amount, It was like, it costs whatever for him to get from, I think, LA to Atlanta, something ridiculous. He was just like, I ain't doing that. So I will go to the airport and get on a domestic flight like everybody else. And I respected it.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? So, no.
But don't you feel like there's certain situations where a pastor shouldn't be in like a normal domestic, I don't know, economy? Or do you feel like they're just like everybody else and they should be?
So you don't want to fly business? I'm not telling you not to fly business.
Yeah.
But get on a plane with other people.
Okay, cool. What if it was for, I don't know, missionary work? Going to India? I don't know. Holy Spirit tells him, feels compelled to go to Mumbai. There's a lot of stuff going over there.
So again, you can't go to Mumbai on a normal...
No, it's not necessarily for him, but I don't know, to start a church there, for example.
Okay, but again, I hear you, but so the money you're going to spend to get that private jet...
No, I'm saying forget the private jet. I'm saying the money now.
Oh,
is for,
okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's for that. It's for this new church building.
Yeah.
Is
Go
that okay?
ahead.
Okay,
It's
cool.
you're doing the Lord's work. So, yeah.
Okay. Also, I want to ask this question, because obviously everyone in the room, and I can see, obviously, it seems as though people in the chat are kind of agreeing with this, that I guess, card readers, all that sort of stuff, just faster payments and all that sort of stuff. It's just a sign of the times, yeah? Do you feel as though certain things we'll get to that stage in life, yeah, where, I don't know, we have AI, right? Certain features or whatever. They have avatars and stuff like this. And we can create church in a digital sort of environment so that people don't necessarily need to be in church and you can actually just plug in from home.
The reason why
And you feel that's a bad or good thing?
The reason why I don't think that's going to work is because we went through that period in lockdown. Right?
Okay. How'd that go?
Of doing church digitally.
On Zoom.
And remotely and stuff. And I think for a lot of people, they missed being in the presence of God, like being in church. I can't see church being one of those things that dies out in terms of physical attendance. Because I can watch church online, but I'm not gonna lie, watching church online and being in church the feeling's completely different.
But what if you've got one of those, what's that thing called, Brent?
Those
VR
goggles and whatnot.
VR.
Exactly.
I hear it. Again, I don't know, because if in the VR, am I gonna see
you are.
Sister Mary Clarence next to me? Then fair enough. I don't know, it could be different, but again, I don't see church being one of those things that people like. Do you know what I mean? Like, not show up for.
Would you have ever thought that would be the same for work?
Yeah, because a lot of people don't like commuting, and church is once a week or twice a week, unless you serve in church. Going into the office in central London for most people, 9 to 5 during rush hour. But remember, you have to bear all those factors in mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay at home.
And
the cost of having to pay for TFL, all of those things. I feel like with work, it's different because there's a lot more factors to think about.
I mean, I don't know if it is that you're aware, but a lot of people feel as though church is an obligation. It's a prerequisite to being called a Christian. So a lot of their consciousness is acting on their decision to do the thing that you've just said. Because a lot of people drive from here to Quay, traffic and this, that, and next, known for when it's the entire day. So I do believe that some people would look to don the head glasses or the goggles in order to basically still...
No, of course, but I just don't think it's the majority, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, fair.
And if that is the case, do you feel like people... If the church sets that up, says to everybody, guys, this is what we're looking to do, because we want to reach more people, and we understand that some of you have jobs on the week, on Sunday sometimes. We don't want to eat into certain things. You might get time and a half. We understand the economy is tough. We want to implement this into our services now, but there will be a payment.
Because my thing is, the payment's not going to be light though, because VR is not cheap.
Yeah.
It's not. And we can sit here. Virtual reality is not cheap. I don't know didn't Apple bring out virtual reality glasses recently?
Crazy,
What was the price? And yes, that's Apple and that's like the high end. But I think even on a basic level, it's not cheap.
No. It's not cheap, no.
Why? Because it's still kind of like...
Yeah, and the market doesn't... The market will dictate the price. Like,
of course.
Since more companies come in and whatnot, it will drive the price down. But right now, it's not. 100%. 100%.
I guess the point I'm getting at is maybe... Go on.
If they said, if you want to do... Because remember, like we said, it's for people to choose, innit?
Yeah.
So we're looking to implement this. If you do want to subscribe to it, this is how much you will have to pay, and you will have the glasses at home. Like, you get to keep them. And it's for you to choose whether you want to do them or not.
I guess for me, I'm trying to... You guys might... If you kind of think I'm being out of order, or you think this shouldn't work in church, let me know. But I guess I'm trying to get everyone to kind of look at church seriously from a business perspective. If, for example, it does cost church a lot more money, right? And some of us don't have the funds to increase our tithes, right? Because obviously, if everyone is strictly going by tithes being 10%, then obviously your wages have to go up, yeah? Say there's no additional income and we need to do certain things. If a church said to you, okay, fine, I understand that this is tough for all of us, but we do need to keep the lights on. We do need to pay the keyboardist, the trumpet guy, the guitarist, the pianist, or whatever it may be. I know some of you like to come to the church early to get good seats. Let's not act as though certain seats are not better for certain people. We know this, right? Or you guys are going to say that's not the case? Because some people want to be in the front for a reason.
No,
yeah?
of course.
Cool. what if we say first 5 rows, you have to give minimum collection £50 a week. If church started to implement these things, balcony, £40 or whatever, so you can see us. If people started implementing these things, do you feel like it's out of order?
I'm not gonna lie. Now you're giving me R&B slow jams vibes. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
No, but it costs to be here though.
no, and
Do you get what I'm
that's,
saying?
and I hear that, but again, what are we doing here? You're giving me VIP first early bird tickets, first release, second release, third. This ain't beats and bands, babes. So,
But why can't we look at it that way? That's basically what I'm getting at. Is it really wrong to look at it that way? If, for example, some people wake up early to go to church to sit in a particular seat, you know what I'm saying? Like, that means that seat means something to you.
yeah, but that's why. And you remember, not everybody is willing to do that, though. Not everybody is
100%,
willing.
100%.
Exactly. So that's, to me.
But not everyone's willing to give collection.
I think that Jesus Christ would rather them hold that service in a tent than basically look to fleece the flock, the congregation, for air-conditioned front row seats where you get some distilled water. I don't know if this is what God would want. And that should be informing every single decision from the judge, by the judge.
Does God want us to prosper? Does God want us, the church, to be to not struggle to pay its bills, and also to have a bit more excess so that we can actually do more in the community?
I hope you know that there are other ways to basically fund expanding the church than looking to take everything from its congregation.
Is that everything?
But what you are suggesting are extremes. So I have to also move in that same spirit.
Why do you see it as an extreme though?
I think because you're adding things that I don't believe God would actually want you attributing to his name. You saying this front row seat, you're going to put a price on it.
Yeah.
And you've decided what the price is.
Yeah.
And the same space just behind
Yeah.
is less or no money. How do you justify that front row being priced like that? Because it, as Gina said, it's giving now a theatre production. It's giving a performance.
Yeah. But that's exactly, I'm glad you said that, Brent. Because the reality is, or at least I believe, that people like to go to churches where they have an amazing sound system, an amazing choir, an amazing X, Y, and Z. And what Marvin Sapp is basically saying, or at least someone else, I don't want to put words into his mouth, is saying it costs to do this. When David comes here, you know, David that made the track, he goes to church and he's paid to be on keyboard. He's paid. Everyone's paid. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hear what I'm saying, though, right?
Talk to me, Brent.
There are different ways to receive that money or get that money. It's one by saying, all right, congregation, you know where we are, and you know that you guys have been complaining about our sound system. Why I got no money, right? So if it is that you want better sound, we have to raise this money somehow. We've emailed Sony, we've emailed the JVC, and we've asked for the joints. Nobody's giving to us, right? So if you want better sound, I'm gonna do a whip round. You understand?
Yeah, but that's fair.
That's different.
Yeah, like the
Right?
thing is, that is actually fair, because everybody putting money in for something that's going to benefit everybody is not a problem. It's like when you live in like a gated community or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And like you not pay for things for maintenance, or like let's pay for security or whatever, because it benefits everybody. It's not just, do you know what I mean? It's for the greater good of the community. That's fine. But not you coming to tell me I want a PJ so I can go to Mumbai.
Forget the forget the private jet. I'm also, I guess, just talking about the running of the church, because I do feel as though most people who go to church haven't really thought about the church's finances before, right? And I'm just talking about electricity bills. I'm talking about all of these things that go up in normal life, right? And all of us have to tighten our belts to pay these things. Why is it that when you go to church, it's different? Do you get what I'm saying? And
How is it done in the structures of NOI, how did they look to raise money?
I guess you just give, isn't it? I've never.
Is it the same approach?
What do you mean? Like,
Is the
cost-
master what? How did you say it again? Honorable?
who, Mr. Farrakhan?
Yes. Does he come and petition and look to coerce people into
No.
giving money? How does it normally happen?
It's just like a normal collection.
Just like church.
Yeah.
All right. So any behavior like this, what would Farrakhan say?
I can't speak for the minister, but I'm basically
But you've been
saying.
speaking for Marvin Sapp.
No, but I said I don't want to put words in his mouth. I literally said that, bro.
But you still. Sorry. What are we doing here?
But I'm also saying, even Marvin Sapp aside, I'm just saying if a pastor comes out and says this to his congregation, I'm asking, is it wrong? Because you have to understand here that in 100 years ago, people would have thought certain things were wrong as well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm basically saying in this new digital age, 50 years from now, if people start moving in this particular manner, but you're getting everything that you want from church, right? Is it wrong? That's all I'm basically saying. Is it wrong for us to see it that
Let me
way?
put you on the interviewee seat now.
Okay.
The same thing that Marvin Sapp said
Yeah.
is what Farrakhan said.
Okay.
Is it wrong?
The same. So you mean if the minister said what Marvin Sapp said?
All the questions
Is
you've
that
been
what you're
asking
saying?
us,
Yeah.
I'm starting with the top one. Is it wrong?
I guess I would say it's wrong. But at the same time, it's completely different. Like the nation does work in the community. Like you see it. You know what I'm saying? The minister never asked for private jet money. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's a completely different thing to church. Completely different thing to church.
Explain.
Do you get what I'm
Are you
saying?
saying the church doesn't do work in the community?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that a lot of time people go to church, give money, I don't necessarily see it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't get that vibe in the nation. Do you get what I'm saying? You see what you're doing. And there's no pressure. There's never ever have I ever seen pressure to ever give more. You know what I'm saying? It's more so, this is, for example, collection time. If you have I've been in a situation where there's no collection even. No collection. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not something that's a staple in the everyday goings-ons. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's not the same to compare. You know what I mean? But at the same time, not every church is the same. It's different denominations. But I am saying if your particular church wanted to do this particular thing, is it wrong to see church as almost like a subscription thing?
How did you find out that the nation was doing work in the community?
Because I've seen it.
What? Not because they've told you, because you've seen it?
Yeah, because I've seen it.
What have you seen?
So, for example, you see them go into prisons. You see them start up, have a community event. You see them just various
So
different things.
I don't know what churches you've ever been to.
Yeah.
But every church I've been to, there is a right at the beginning, they do the normal, the admin stuff, right? And they basically say what's been happening during the week. They say that what they've been working on. They say who's on missionary and this, that, and the next.
Yeah.
And they say who needs help on abroad and blah, 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 blah.
Fantastic.
So, during the week they also work.
Yeah.
Depending on the size of the church, during the week they have community outreach. So when you say it's very different to NOI, I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah, but remember, I'm talking about churches, I guess, where you don't necessarily see it. So if you see it, then beautiful. It's exactly the same then. But what I am saying also is, I'm literally asking the question of, why is it that we can't move into the... Look at it from this perspective. Everyone's basically saying this is wrong. And I guess when I pose this to the people, I'm basically saying, is it really wrong? And also, because we're in 2025, 50 years from now, is it wrong for us to kind of update the approach? That's basically what I'm saying. My second question was going to be, is it really wrong to see church almost like a subscription sort of fee, right? Where it's the same sort of amount of money, And what would you say to that?
Again, I don't know, man. I just
You
feel like it just becomes very techie when you.
Cool. Brent, quickly, yes or no? Subscription sort of fee.
I do that. I have a direct debit for bloody tithes. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm just asking. I didn't want to.
No,
give
but so do I,
context.
though.
No,
But this
is
is what I'm
that
trying-
what
this
you're talking about? Because when you
this is what
call
I'm
it a
saying.
subscription, you make it dirty.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So what I'm trying to say is this.
By the way,
lot of
we've moved away from the actual clip. You realize
I
that,
know,
right?
I know,
All
I
right,
know.
cool.
But I guess the point I'm trying to make is, a lot of the time, because of how things are framed, we see it in a sort of bad way. But if you just change the framing slightly, are we not doing the same thing? And if we're not, will we not start to do the same thing in 20, 50 years from now? Hence me saying subscription fee, and you guys actually seeing it for what it is. Well, tithes. I give my tithes, direct debit, I don't even think about it for the last 15 years. Do you get what I'm saying? So isn't that just a subscription fee? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, if you now add on a particular thing where your church now says, you know what, guys, we understand you love the music, you do certain things, we want to give you the best opportunity for praise and worship. You've been to certain churches before where they just have a stereo. Do you get what I'm saying? Nobody really enjoys it. People even say, well, I didn't really get the spirit. Right? So that means what? You're somewhat saying the spirit is dependent on the atmosphere. Is the atmosphere formed by the music being played? How good the singer is? How good the preaching is? If that's the case, is it unreasonable for us to kind of attach that to cost as well? Because now you're asking for the best singers, the best musicians in the building. If we now start saying, guys, we want to start training up the kids in Sunday school now to start getting into instrumentation, that will cost us more money. I'm basically trying to say, when somebody does stuff like this, yes, of course, you know, you guys wanted some sort of context in terms of what the money's going to go towards, yeah? But I'm simply saying, if it wasn't like that, if it was just a subscription fee sort of thing, and saying, guys, this is what you're getting for your money, right? And in addition to that, you also get guaranteed seating. So the church is so popular now that you get guaranteed seating in the 9 to 11 slot instead of the 7 to 10. And do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you add these things in, is it bad? That's basically what I'm going.
You always say words mean things, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if you're paying Netflix every month and you stop paying Netflix, what happens?
I can't watch no Netflix.
It get cut off, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen in church.
I know.
So when you say it's basically like that, it's not, is it?
No, but it's in terms of you giving a regular payment. That's all I basically mean.
That's just called a regular payment.
I understand,
that's
but remember,
called a choice that you've decided to make.
Yes.
You saying subscription, you now include a different element of service.
Yes, but that's what I'm trying to say.
It would be cut if that regular payment isn't made.
Agreed.
So you shouldn't use subscription.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is, I'm now saying we want to add to this. Do you get what I'm saying? So the tithe, fantastic, cool. But I'm now saying we want to add to this. So for example, Winners Chapel, they have 3 services on Sundays, right? I believe. Say you want to go to a particular service, but that's the most popular one.
Yeah.
Is it wrong for them to say, guys, because of how popular it is and there's limited space in this building, if you give a bit more extra, we can guarantee you a seat?
How are you going to do that?
It sounds crazy, but is it wrong?
But how are you going to do that?
What the hell?
I don't know. It does sound crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it wrong though?
Do you know what it is?
It's
It's operating more as a business, isn't it?
This is
So
what I'm
as
saying.
opposed to a charity.
Yeah. But in all other areas of let me not say all other areas, but in many different areas of church, we understand that it has to operate as a business. We understand that pastors need to be paid. We understand that musicians need to be paid. Otherwise, those musicians will leave your church. Many people are not musicians, so they don't really know this, but musicians will leave. I know countless musicians who have gone from church to church.
Again, I think what you're doing is you're conflating things, and you're asking us to take it the same. I don't think it's the same.
What am I conflating?
A lot of musicians, they know that they are serving.
Okay.
Right? They are offering their services to serve. If the church is in a position where they can now pay them, because if it is that they, aren't there, they're elsewhere playing for somebody else, right? So they pay them for the time in which it is that they're not getting paid elsewhere. That's cool, but I don't think every single church is like that. I know for a fact that there are times years when David wasn't getting paid playing in church.
Yeah.
And they even churches where he can be going to mega churches and playing, but he said, nope, I'm staying in this particular lowly church because either my parents are here or some sort of family members here. There's sentiment here. So, yes, I know that there are staff that gets paid because they do a service not just in church, but outside. They need to prepare, need to come to rehearsals, they start next. And obviously, if you are now, I don't know, taking time away from your family to do it, it's reflected differently, right? But that's not the standard, and it's not It's not all across the board. It really isn't.
Of course,
and every
it's not
every
all.
church like does different things. And when they do collection, they look to position the pots of money for different things. One could be making sure that the toilets they have cleaners coming in over and over again, because the ushers can't do it, or the people who volunteer can't do it. Sometimes they even say, look, we need cleaners. Who wants to volunteer their services, right? When you have a mega church and money is pouring in from all over the gaff, and you don't need to do anything other than, how can I utilize this money to make our community and our congregation sweeter? That's when they're pouring in. But I don't know if I can take the example, the harsh example in which you're painting, as something every church does.
Oh, who's saying every church though?
But you're
I'm saying
where
if we
you
move-
leading us with this,
I'm basically
right?
just
Because
saying
I've been
in
to
the future.
churches that are on prosperity gospel.
Yeah.
I don't like them churches.
Okay.
For me, that's not the gospel that Jesus asked for us to basically preach or adhere to. So I'm not in them type of churches, but I see them.
Yeah.
Is that- And I've been to churches who have absolutely nothing. I don't know.
And those churches that have absolutely nothing, how big are they?
Not big. Not
And-
big. I've been to a mid-sized church. I would say maybe 250, and they have the bare minimum, and sometimes they get donations, not just money but things. But it's never a case where the pastor's preaching prosperity. He's never preaching, I need to live, I need to survive. That's not. He's never doing that. Yes, the tithes go to his upkeep and his research and education, but he or she is never preaching, give me.
Yeah.
And I could go to churches where they are preaching, give me, but I just wouldn't stay there.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like I said, to me, I'm not saying churches are good or bad. I'm basically literally just saying, I feel as though we may be moving into that particular space in the next 50 years, maybe. And is it a bad thing?
And you see,
get what I'm
that's
saying?
what I'm talking about. When I say, like, you bunch everything together, because you just said we're moving into that particular space.
Okay.
Right now, you can find both or 3 or 4 types of different churches.
Yes.
And in the future, you would still have 3 or 4 or 5 different types of churches,
Yeah.
right? So when you're saying we're moving into that space, it sounds as though you're saying collectively we're all going there. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that there's going to be a subscription for all these particular churches.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, they probably won't. I guess in no situation there's everybody doing one particular thing, innit? But I guess I'm kind of seeing it as, and obviously there's differences. But if, for example, we move into the
Are you
digital
saying the
age-
same for NOI? Is NOI also going to be going to subscription-based service?
But who knows? Potentially, if there's a need, who knows?
So, as confident as you were sounding for the Christians to go in that way, are you confident with the NOI going that way?
No, it's different though.
Why?
Why? Because the NOI doesn't have a reputation for, I guess, prioritizing money and funds. Do you know what I'm saying? Even
And
if-
you see the churches, Christians, as doing that, right?
100, of course.
Ah,
without
right.
doubt.
Okay.
Without doubt. They know. Come on, no, 100%. There's,
So-
there's reasons why you want to make a difference between the mega churches and the
I
prosperity
don't know much
gospels
about
and all
NOI
that sort
and
of
their
stuff.
inner workings. How do they raise money? It's out of the kindness of their hearts, right?
Yeah, pretty
Just
much.
donating. When
Pretty
you say
much.
pretty much,
And
how much
also-
do you give to
and-
NOI every month?
And also, I don't have a fixed amount. And also,
You give when as you feel?
Yeah,
Move to?
that's all.
How much you give last month?
I can't remember. I don't know. I may not even given anything.
You may not have. You
Yeah,
forgot?
100%. Yeah, because it's better.
Sorry, I don't want you to like feel defensive. I'm not trying to attack you or anything in it.
you know I don't. You know how.
But
how
I'm just saying.
No, but I'm just
I don't
being.
know. I did enough of that last week, so
No,
I'm not,
no, but what I'm
trying
saying.
to learn.
Enough of what last week?
Pressing you.
By the way, are we still doing the Wednesday thingy?
Why? Don't you want to do it anymore?
Why would you even say it like that? Because you're making it seem as though I'm trying to run. I'm not running.
But why did you say that?
No, because like we just haven't mentioned anything to do with it, innit? So I just thought, oh, okay, cool.
And now you want to do this here?
No,
like on air?
because we're talking about church. That's what I'm mentioning.
But I don't just want to have Joshua and Black Rob come in and talk about church. I actually want them to talk about like the problems in the black community.
Oh, on the same day?
I don't even want to focus on the church stuff. Is that what you wanted to talk about on Wednesday?
That was the whole thing. You know what I mean? That was what it was all about.
What would you like for them to basically what would you like to talk about?
I really don't mind. I really don't mind. Honestly, I don't mind.
No, remember, what did you think we were going to be talking about?
I thought it was going to be about whole church and scriptural sort of stuff.
I don't know.
That's what I thought it was.
I don't know if people want that, man.
Yeah, I know this.
I mean, I do believe that Joshua and Black Rob hold certain hot takes on the best way forward for the black community. I know that Joshua thinks that we scream victim all the time. Do you understand? The victim mentality. And I also believe that Black Rob has those particular thoughts. You know, apparently some people think that, you know, Joshua thinks we can think our way out of racism, right? I mean, that could be a good conversation. And he could have valid arguments to that.
If that's the case.
Right? We could even talk about, I don't know, Mama sent you the video where they were doing a video essay on Traplaw Ross and his pervasive nature in loving hip hop and talking about hip hop death and this, that, and X and benefiting from it, right? We can talk about listening to murderers, right?
Hold on one sec, Brent.
What?
Nadia M, you said they don't need to preach gimme gimme when they are already manipulating the congregation to be obliged to give. What is that in response to? I just want to ask.
You think she's talking about NY?
I have no idea.
And is that why is it you have a problem?
No. I just need to know.
You couldn't have just ignored that?
I need to know. Go on, bro. I just need to know.
Why do you get so defensive with the NY stuff though?
I don't think I am. I really don't think I
am. Are you that self...
I really don't think I am. If there's one thing the NOI has, it's defense. We've seen the FOI. You know what I'm saying? What churches don't have?
What's the FOI?
The Fruit of Islam.
What's that? Is that like the Third Reich equivalent?
No, there's no equivalent. Are
they the soldiers, the sentinels for the NOI?
Yeah.
What did it get up to though? Crud.
It could be security. It could be whatever.
And they do different things.
Yeah.
What other things other than security?
Making the community a bit safer at a particular function, making the organization safe when certain things are going on, whatever it may be, just protection. Because every nation should have some sort of protection, right?
Did they work with guns?
No, absolutely not.
They just do hand-to-hand combat, close quarters combat.
Wherever's necessary, man.
What does that mean?
Wherever's necessary, just no weapons.
Ah,
yeah, just
that's cool,
no
man.
Weapons. Yeah, 100%.
How about obviously a knife is a weapon.
Yeah, no weapons.
No weapons formed against me in that. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Chijoke.
Morning.
How are you, bro?
Yeah, not too bad.
What are your thoughts?
I just wanted to come on quickly because I think where it becomes an issue is when you're trying to say, are your pockets big enough for church? And I think that's a very dangerous field that we're going into, because as far as I know, church is for everybody, like the homeless, the downtrodden, people who don't quite have enough. Now, if you're saying that people aren't given enough for the people that have extra, that's a different conversation. But I don't think churches should be pocket watching, and I think that's where it becomes a problem as well.
Good point about church shouldn't be pocket watching, but are they pocket watching if they need more money for particular things? Do you get what I'm saying? Because I feel like the average person who goes to church may not know about the agenda of those who are in the highest positions of the ministry. So, for example, the Holy Spirit may compel the people to say, listen, let's build another this, or let's start a nursery, or let's go and do missionary work in the north of Scotland, whatever it may be. The average person may not know any of these things. They're just there in the church service hearing about it, right? And is that pocket watching though? If we're saying this is what the Holy Spirit told us to do, please, let's fund this.
I think if you compel people, I think we're quite charitable normally. So you will be able to get that target. But I think specifically about this particular video that's come up with Marvin Sapp, we're not talking about you just saying the Holy Spirit's compelled you. You've basically said, I'm keeping you hostage until this money's in my pocket. This is a shakedown. Like, I've never heard or seen a church try and do a shakedown. Well, I have heard of churches doing shakedowns, but you couldn't tell me I'm in church and I'm not allowed. An usher will block me from leaving until I take money out of my pocket for this particular whatever you're claiming. No, you can't do that because I will leave. I will leave on principle, even if I have it, because that's crazy. So I think that's where we have to be careful, because I understand what you're saying with the subscription. Like, there are things that the church has to pay for. I've been in conversations within churches where I've heard they need a certain amount. They're not making enough to even keep certain bills being paid. But you also need to keep in mind in terms of who the congregation is and also what you're saying, because I don't think the church has a very good reputation for our generation anyway. I think there's a lot of people that don't quite like the way certain preaching has been made and how certain things have been done within the church in different denominations. So not just, when you hear the foolishness with the Catholic Church and other people and the whole, that whole situation. So I think when you now say to people, you're not doing enough with the finances for the church to thrive, you also have to take into account who those people are, and don't just make it that it's only with your pockets that you're serving the Lord.
I hear you. Regarding the thing I was mentioning about if your church moves in a particular direction, right? Do you feel as though that is a bad thing? Just solely a bad thing? Or is it understandable?
So when you say in a particular direction,
let me be specific. Shall I?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the whole thing about paying to get priority into particular services. So for example, your church is so popular now, and people are, like they can't make it in. It becomes almost like a little bit of a tussle to get in. People are standing. It's just not the nicest of environments. Too packed, right? So we have 3 different services, but people prioritize the middle service. Why? Because it's easier, you can have your lie in or whatever it may be, yeah? And so they're saying, cool, because everyone wants this particular service, because the musicians, maybe your favorite musician, maybe your favorite singer or whatever, is in that middle service too, whatever it may be, that makes the middle service desirable to you. If it's okay for you to pay £10 extra every week, for example, is that a bad thing? And obviously you just told the people, this money is obviously going to go to something good, like the rest of your money does. You know what I'm saying? But is it wrong for the church to say this to people? And if it is, why do you think so?
I think it's tricky to say to someone that you have to pay extra, because I think you're also it's a bit like grandstanding, like, because then you now know the people that are in there. It's a bit of a flex, and I think that's the bit that becomes a bit more tricky, because I don't feel it. I feel like essentially you're going to, the parable where you're talking about the man that's like, oh, look how much money I've paid to attend and given to the poor. And it's like, well, okay, that's your reward. That's what you're basically saying. You've basically done the whole, oh, here I am in this particular service, and I'm here because I've paid extra. And I'm like, for the people that might not be able to, but have to attend that, say you want to attend that service because you've got work at a particular time. Now you can't attend because you can't afford to pay that extra £10.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, so I think the spirit of church becomes tricky when you're saying here you attend based on your pocket, which is essentially what they're saying.
So it should just be a first come, first serve sort of thing every single time.
I believe so.
What if, last scenario, bills are getting crazy, bills are getting crazy for the church. There's a lot of money and all that sort of stuff. And they say, cool, respectfully, guys, and we really, honestly don't mean this in any sort of way. But we notice that we do get collection at a particular time, more collections at a particular time. And that particular time is not necessarily favorable for everybody. So we're only going to do church at that time, right? Is that a bad thing? And I guess it's a two-part question. So that first thing, but also secondly, for those who give tithes, because not everyone gives tithes. So some people prefer to just maybe give collection, right? But they don't want to set up the direct debit thing, right? And actually give a fixed 10%. If they say only those who do that can attend as well. So two-part question. Are these things bad?
So just to confirm, your first question is you're saying if they're not able to do other services at other times based on finances and they only want to do it on this particular time because they know they get more money, are you basically saying is it good for them to just do it at that particular time?
Yeah, because we need more of the money so that we can actually fund this church building so that people can actually have a place to worship. Do you know what I'm saying?
If you put it to that point, I don't think you can necessarily sell it that way because I have seen churches that don't do certain times just because they don't get a particular good turnout. So they'll go, we're changing it now, so it's at this part of the morning, or we're not going to do an evening service anymore. So I have definitely seen that change in different. And I've also seen them say, well, we might do a smaller support group, but not necessarily the full service as you're used to on a Sunday morning.
Exactly.
So I understand if you do it that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can specifically say, well, we're only going to do it at this time because this is the time where we get more of our money. Because I think, like I said, I think people are reasonable. If you say to them, okay, we're trying to raise enough to fix a leaky roof in the church, you will get donations. People will put their hands in their pockets. But to then specifically point, and again, I'm going back to specifically say, this is the amount of people in, you will all pay this particular amount, otherwise you don't leave. That becomes tricky. And I think that's the bit that still becomes tougher to sell. Sorry, the second part of your question, I just want to make sure I've got that as well.
Second part was, what if we only allow people who give the direct debits the priority? Because at least you kind of know it's kind of guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, I don't know how you can't then again do the whole pocket watching thing. And I think that's the bit that's still tricky because again, you're saying to people, well, you don't do the direct debit. Let's say you don't have a particularly good setup with your own banking. You give based on what you have in your pocket because that's what you can give. Are you now saying to those people, well, let's say the people that are not quite supposed to be in the country, they only get paid hand, in terms of cash in hand. And they might be able to give that amount. They go to church and they give part of that amount. They might not have the setup for that. Are you now saying to them, well, you're not as important as the person that is able to do that direct debit? And I think that's the message that becomes a bit more tricky to say to someone. And I don't think that's how church should be.
But I mean, if you believe in your pastor, you've been going to the same church for 10, 15 years, and you trust your pastor, you trust the word, and the pastor's saying this to you now, are we going to start thinking the pastor's compromised? You know what I mean? Like, surely you just believe, it's not a case of me saying one particular person's more important. It's just me basically just saying, because of this war in Ukraine, because of this that's happening in the Black Sea, like all of these things is making the costs go up. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? We've already heard how brother this and sister this lost their house because of da-da-da-da. We know that everyone's, you know what I mean, like kind of feeling it. Are we just now going to start to doubt the pastor? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's just a modern way of asking for a bit more money. Do you get what I'm saying? That's, yeah.
I hear that in terms of if you want to say to people, you know, that like, because like I said, I've been into different meetings, members' meetings, where they go, look, there are there are things that we're struggling to do based on the current amount, and there's certain things that you might be able to cut back on to try and make that work. But I think if you truly believe in the Holy Spirit and believe God is working with you, you know that there'll be ways that you can get certain jobs done. And I think that's the bit that I've always sort of attested to, where you go, I understand it might not be practical because you might not be able to see it, but if God is there, God will make it work.
I hear you. One last thing. Big up Esther. She's in the chat. She just
Good
said,
morning,
"Good
Christy.
morning." Let me just read Esther's comment first. She said, "God will provide for a church that glorifies Him and worships Him in spirit and in truth. It won't require the pastor to kidnap the congregation and force them to contribute." I hear it. I hear
Exactly.
it. Christy, good morning.
Hi. Sorry, I feel like I'm gonna derail the topic a bit. I need to drill down on Eman's perceived bias. Can I just say, let me just ask, with the NOI,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a hot take, but I feel like when you mention them and what they do for Black people, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I feel like you are holding on to the past.
Okay. I hear you.
Because in now, I don't see them any different from a denomination of a church. I mean, obviously, they're Nation of Islam, so their religion is Islam, but I just see them as another denomination of that, and I don't see, in terms of the way you champion them in impacting Black people, and I feel like, yes, in the past, but I feel like now they just simply hold them. I don't know what to call it, because we call it church service. I don't know what to call I don't know what the technical term for where they gather, and I don't know how often they gather. But when Minister Farrakhan is preaching, I get that it's very specific for Black people. I'll probably say that's the difference. Whereas just general Christianity doesn't necessarily speak directly to Black people. It's a community of Christianity. But I personally don't see how. I feel like it's more holding on to the past, because since the Million Man March, or to that scale, what have they done? What have they done lately? That's my question.
To be fair, maybe this is a topic for a different day, because we can get into it and be more specific. And to be fair to you, I do feel as though a lot of churches do similar things to the nation in terms of community outreach and things of that nature. So I agree with you in that regard. And like you pretty much said, the difference would be that a lot of what the nation does is specific to Black people. So yeah, I don't know if that's an answer to your question. Yeah, so in terms of what they do, it would be very much similar to what certain churches do, 100%, because they're very much about the community. It's just that a lot of the time, it's Black focused. You know what I mean? And that might be enough for people. Sometimes it might not be enough for people.
So your issue with Christianity of today is because they don't speak to Black people specifically.
No, but remember, I can't indict all of Christianity. I would never try and do that, because, like you mentioned, it's so many denominations. There are pro-Black churches out there, you know. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say that. You know what I mean? But it's more so just me. That was just, I guess, one point. That was just me saying some churches, and I feel as though many people, if they're being honest about it, they have probably, if they've not experienced it themselves, heard many times that they've been in churches or heard about churches that ask for collection all the time, seeds all the time, and they don't really see anything different. So many different seeds, but it's in the same estate community hall that they've been in for the last 10 years. Where's the money going? Do you get what I'm saying? People have experienced this. I'm not making anything up here. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you can even speak to it as well. So that's basically what I'm kind of talking about. But that was just a side point. The main thing about this whole thing today is me just asking, is what Marvin Sapp did really outrageous? From that clip, of course, right? It does kind of seem extreme that you're locking everybody in the building. But the separate question is also, if we do move into more of a digital age, if we do move into a place where there are a lot more economic restraints, and it's tough to run these church buildings. We already know that offices are closing their buildings because it's too costly to keep, especially people are not in it. So we know bills in every facet of life is going up. Is it wrong for a church to now adjust the approach and prioritize those who can give, who are tangibly in the building and can give consistently, right? So that we can keep the lights on and have a building. That's all this is about. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I do know that obviously we do prioritize saying, cheerful giver, cheerful giver, cheerful giver. Mwah, beautiful, I understand that. And it should be that. But I'm saying in a situation where it is kind of dire, is it wrong for a church to change their approach and say, you know what, you would give subscription to your gym, to your Netflix, to certain things. You would go and see your favorite artist and pay a bit extra maybe for a better seat or whatever it may be. Is it wrong to kind of bring that into the church a bit? I know using those examples even make it sullies it a bit more for people, but just me saying it is a business at the end of the day. It has to be, because you know what I mean? It just is. It's a charity, of course, yeah, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, churches need to raise funds because we're all human beings and we have human needs. So I'm just basically saying, is it really wrong for a church to try and change the approach so that we can guarantee a building that has functioning AC, that has a proper choir, that has proper musicians and pastors that can prioritize the word? Do you know what I'm saying? And that comes with money. That's all this is about, basically. You understand?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to. It was. I feel like I get an undertone of your smugness when you're talking of the NOI. To be honest, that's why I was
100%.
really
Everybody's hearing it, but you're the only one brave enough to come and say that he's showing his bias all over.
You know, every now and again I'm going to do that. You know? I love the nation. You know what I mean? But
yeah, and hence why I said in 2025, I want to know. Like, I feel like they are holding on to the success of the past. If I'm being honest.
I don't think so.
That's not me not rating them, because I actually do rate them. But
you just want to know what is some of the new things that's being done in today, basically, for our people. I hear you. And maybe we'll do a topic on.
No, we're not going to.
Well, okay.
Because you should be able to just rule it off your tongue right now.
No, but again, I'm saying there's certain things that's similar to even churches, so I don't even want to make the distinction between.
I told you that.
100%, and I agree with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
well, I can basically say what they do. What my church does, but I asked you about what your church, what do you call your
just say the nation,
your nation does.
And again, I'm trying to say.
Do you go to a local one?
I guess so. Yeah, it's in South.
When you say you guess so, is this
in South?
God damn it, what's it called?
It's not giving energy. I'm not.
It's not, man.
No, because I don't want to make the focus about that. I'm trying to make it about something.
Nah, we've been talking about church for a whole hour. Why can't we ask a couple questions about the nation, bro?
You can ask questions. It's fine.
Where is it?
In Brixton.
What is it called?
How often do you go?
It varies. Maybe about what happened?
Let me give you some time.
Maybe
Sorry, go.
once a month, a couple of times a month if I can.
Is it weekly though?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Do you dress up?
Do you wear bow tie?
No, you can just go as you are. It's like church, right?
God, look at this.
There you go.
Do you go to church?
Yeah, of course.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He's just
go to
lied
church?
to you.
No, I don't.
God damn it.
So the nation is your church, basically.
I mean, let me be nice. This is where I go.
Okay. Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
The nation believes in Jesus Christ.
Oh, you know what?
You know what I mean? But again, that's what I'll ask to the people. Because I do feel genuinely, just to bring it back to the topic, that we are protective about church. We are protective about mosque or whatever it may be, innit?
It's not we anymore, bro. Take we out your mouth.
Whatever it is, I don't really care. Whatever it is that you go to every Sunday or Friday, whatever it may be, we're protective about these particular places, and rightfully so. But I am just basically saying, in a world where things are changing, that's basically the crux of it. in a world where things are changing, is it wrong for us to kind of ask for more in different ways, even if we're unfamiliar with these things? That's all I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
yeah.
Emmanuel is Muslim Priz. Yes.
All right, people.
Thank you very much, Christy. That was perfect.
Thank you very much, Christy.
Thanks.
Tijoke, you want to say a final word?
No, I'm good. I think E-Man's felt enough heat today.
All right, later. Let's get into the next headlines.
Before I get into headlines, though, about what Brent was saying about Joshua and Black Rob coming in on Wednesday. What did you guys believe you were coming in for? Just let me know in the chat.
Black Rob and Josh, or them?
Yeah, Black Rob and
okay.
Josh. Yeah.
I don't know if Josh is still on the stream, but Black Rob can probably.
Yeah, let me know, man. But yes. Next headline. Trigger warning on this, potentially. According to a health minister, the morning after pill could become free from pharmacies in order to end an unfair postcode lottery. So the morning after pill is a type of emergency contraception taken to prevent an unwanted pregnancy. Despite its name, it can be taken up to 5 days after unprotected sex. But as soon as it's taken, the more effective it is. Emergency contraception is free from most GPs and sexual health clinics, but pharmacies can charge up to £30. Health Minister Stephen Kinnock said women face an unfair postcode lottery when seeking emergency contraception, with access varying dramatically depending on where they live. He described equal access to safe contraception as a cornerstone of a fair society. The proposal will be announced on Monday as part of a wider investment in community pharmacies, and it would come into effect later this year. Next headline, and ministers are planning to introduce a last-minute rule change this week to overturn sentencing guidelines that could have led to criminals getting different sentences depending on their age, sex, and ethnicity. Shabana Mahmood, who's the Justice Secretary, is planning to bring a bill to the Commons this week to overrule the guidelines, which are due to come into force in England and Wales on Tuesday. The guidelines from the Sentencing Council for England and Wales would require magistrates and judges to consult a pre-sentence report before deciding whether to imprison someone of an ethnic or religious minority or a young adult, abuse survivor, or a pregnant woman. The council proposed the guidelines in an attempt to reduce bias and reoffending, but has since been criticised by ministers and the opposition for allowing the introduction of two-tier justice. Earlier this month, Mahmood wrote to the chair of the council, Lord Justice Davis, calling for the change to be scrapped and insisting there will never be a two-tier sentencing approach under my watch. Davis defied that pressure on Friday, however, saying the council had concluded the guidelines did not require revision and blaming a widespread misunderstanding for the backlash. And this last headline is somewhat linked to a dilemma from last week, man. And it's about incels. Trigger warning. Ben, have you heard about this? Incel TikTok accounts are now rebranding. They're now called, I think it's Subs, SUB5S. Is that Subs?
What's that?
Yeah, SUB5.
Yes. That's what the new Incel thing is. So the Incel TikTok accounts are rebranding as Subs and using self-improvement language to avoid social media bans. This is what a new study has found, right? So while the social media platform does not allow hateful material on its sites, advocates of Incel ideology are bypassing this rule by continuing to produce their content, but via the socially palatable terms. This is according to this particular report. Involuntary celibate, or incel, is a term used for a group of sexually embittered men who form their identities around their perceived inability to establish romantic connections with women. While an error message appears when searching for the term incel on TikTok, along with content warning that stating the phrase can be linked with hateful behavior, a stream of material is offered up when a user searches for subs. So basically SUB5, yeah? When you search for that content, basically you get incels content. So they just had to change those things up so you can still get it, I guess. Accounts from TikTok are reportedly pushing the concept of the PSL scale, the name of which is drawn from the first letters of the 3 incel sites. This is insane. PUA hate, slut hate, and elitism.net. These are the 3 incel sites, I guess. The scale claims that men can be ranked according to their attractiveness from 1 to 8. From PSL gods, very attractive men, to the chads, generally attractive men, to the subs, the unattractive men. It is by using the sub search term that social media users are managing to bypass bans, according to the paper by Ander Salia, who's a lecturer and researcher at the School of Criminology and Criminal Justice at the University of Portsmouth. Let me go on to the other headline as well. Trigger warning on this one as well, people. A man arrested on suspicion of murder after a fire at a historic former station house killed 3 people, including a 4-year-old girl, and has been released and will face no further action. Police, fire, and ambulance services were called at around 10:30 p.m. to reports of a large fire at their address in Bestwick, close near Kettering. And a girl, a 30-year-old woman, and a 23-year-old man died at the property in Rushden on Friday night. A 54-year-old man from Kettering was arrested on Saturday, but has now been released and will face no further action. Senior Investigating Officer, Detective Chief Inspector Ruby Burrow of the East Midlands Special Operations Unit said, "It's only right that an incident such as this is treated with the utmost seriousness to make sure we have done all that we can to understand what's happened for the sake of those who have died and their loved ones. In some cases, this requires arrests to be made in order to best secure potential evidence. And our team has been working at pace on this investigation, and after rigorous examination of the available information, we do not believe there's any evidence of criminal wrongdoing at this point." Next headline, nearly 20 councils have warned publicly that they are at risk of insolvency because of multi-billion pound debts caused by years of overspends on special educational needs support. So this is what The Guardian have revealed. Overspending on special needs, special educational needs and disability, SEND, services in England is forecast to grow by nearly £2 billion over the next 12 months. The deficits, currently totaling £3.4 billion, will hit £5.2 billion in 12 months. At least 18 councils have warned explicitly that the debts put them at risk of insolvency, being unable to pay the debts unless the government intervenes, with council estimates suggesting even more could go bust. Mass defaults and SEND deficits would cause chaos and damage other local services. Because councils that declare effective bankruptcy will be forced to drastically rein in spending in all areas, not just at schools. It estimates that as many as 75 councils are at risk. A Department for Education spokesperson said the evidence is clear that the SEND system has been on its knees for years, with too many children not having their needs met and parents forced to fight for support. And the last headline, this is about Prince Harry's charity and basically the situation that we spoke about last week. Donors abandoned the charity that Prince Harry founded in memory of his late mother when he left the UK. This is what the chair of this charity, Santa Bale, has said amid a bit of row online in which she accused the prince of trying to eject her through bullying and harassment. So Sophie Chandauka told Sky News Sunday Morning with Trevor Phillips' program that there was a significant correlation between a drop in funders and the Duke of Sussex departure to the US after the controversy caused by his rift with the royal family. She's a Zimbabwean lawyer, and she was speaking again on the program and said, "So when I arrived in July of 2023, of course, the first thing you do is open the annual report. You look at the board minutes to see what is going on in the organization. I did a 7-year historical review of the financials, looking at our costs and looking at our revenue, so income. And it was pretty obvious to me that we had lost quite a number of corporate sponsors." A source close to the charity's trustees and patrons who stood down last week said that they fully expected this publicity stunt, meaning her comments, and reached their collective decision to quit with this in mind. They added that they remain firm in their resignation for the good of the charity and look forward to the adjudication of the truth. And that's it for the headlines. Brent, it's time to pay them bills. Let's go into the reaction.
Have you ever experienced an incel?
Me? No,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
You never met one? How about you, Manuel?
Nah, man.
Okay.
Do men meet incels?
Yeah, they have brethren with incels.
Makes sense.
Right?
No. Yeah, it makes
No,
sense what
you're
you're
right.
saying. What have you?
I think I have.
Cheers. What did it look like?
What did they look like?
No, what did it look like? Like, how did they present? What was it like?
Like a normal man.
Yeah, but what were they saying that made you say, this guy's a maniac? He's an incel.
Oh, like women are sluts.
Well, just generally, just talking like
Yeah. And everybody, question, Manuel, do you think OnlyFans women are sluts? Oh, and whores? And less of a woman.
But they're doing very different things, though, isn't it? You basically talking about the X-rated ones, or do you just mean women on OnlyFans?
Let's start with just having an OnlyFans account.
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Don't people conduct business on it? Normal business on there?
When you say normal business, what do you mean? Like Etsy?
No, but you can
I don't
have
know.
it. You can use it as a Patreon.
Yeah.
I
something like that.
remember
You got an OnlyFans account?
when they kept asking me to.
What's
put
yours
my
called?
Huh?
What's it called?
I didn't have one. They kept reaching out to me and was like, obviously they're trying to change the negative stigma that's with the account. So would I be interested in like doing like fitness content on there? And I thought, oh, you don't want to use me as your guinea pig. No, not on my watch.
You don't think they can rebrand?
I don't think so.
So you see them as already rebranded, Emmanuel, for the fact that you said don't they do other business on there?
No, only because I heard that like many moons ago, innit? But obviously, when we hear OnlyFans, we only kind of hear of the adult stuff, innit? But I always heard that.
How about the people who work in the sex industry? Do you think they're whores and less of women?
It depends on the definition. So if you're talking about a woman, then you're just a biological woman, innit? You're just a woman. Is a woman. Don't make you less, I guess. But in terms of valuable, something that you would kind of want for your life, that can add value to your life, depending on the type of man and what you seek and what you deem as valuable. For most men, I think no.
I don't want your opinion.
For me,
most
that's
men.
not nothing I would want. So no.
So you do see them as less of a woman value.
No, you're still women.
Their value basically, plummets when it is. They say that they have been in sex work or they are in sex work.
The value to me and what? Yeah. To me, 100%.
All right, okay.
Because I wouldn't want that for myself.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the things that I deem valuable, I
Yeah.
guess, there's a big X in those things. innit?
Question: would you go online and look to rally against them? Go on a crusade, basically just calling them out as whores and.
Hell, no. For what? What? Why?
Would you look at those types of men as incels?
I don't know. Funny enough.
Like, why are you so pressed?
Or would you? No, because it exists.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why are you
Within
so pressed?
the immediate circle. So, I'm not impressed. Impressed.
No, not you. As in, like, you can not agree with certain things, right, and not approve of them, but to go out of your way to kind of like go on a witch hunt.
Yes.
My thing is, why are you so pressed?
Oh, pressed. I thought you said
Yeah.
impressed. All right, cool. So, Emmanuel, would you champion those men? Would you say they're doing a good work?
Why would they be doing that? They're just bringing people down, though, innit?
All right, so you don't agree with them bringing people down.
I don't.
You
I
don't
think
agree
you should
with them
bring anybody down.
sharing the sentiments you share, but in public.
But how do they share the same sentiments? They're calling them all sluts and stuff, right? Is that what you said in your question?
Yeah, they have more colorful language to.
Yeah, but I don't need to bring in the ad hominems. I just don't want you in my life. That's all. Do your own thing over there. There are men out there who probably like that type of stuff.
I suppose they use the same language that you use. Where is it they're lower value women?
They say these are lower value women.
No.
What do you
Didn't
mean?
you say that you kind of see them as lower value?
Yeah, for my values. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so let's just say they use the same language,
Okay.
but it's online. They're
Would I
lower
see-
value women.
Okay, would I see them as incels?
No. Would you champion them?
I mean, that's still something I don't do, innit? Like, why are we out there just making movement, talking negative about women for?
All right, so you definitely would look to quiet them down. Why are you doing that?
I would just say to men, focus on the women of value that you want.
Yeah.
Why are you a hater for?
Yeah.
That's what people do. That's what certain people do, just hating and
No,
gossiping.
I know where you were going. You think I didn't catch that slip of tongue?
Like, that's not men's job, man. Men should be
Building
not-
stuff and going to war?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
No,
Yeah. Why not?
building stuff and going to war.
Yeah, if there's conscription, they're not going to ask you to go.
Sorry?
If there's a conscription thing and they're forcing people to go to war, they're not going to come to you. They'll
Why
say,
not?
continue to build up the morale of the women at home, keep doing fitness for them. But men, use that muscles for good. That's what they'll say. You know what I mean? So,
So I don't have muscles.
you do. But motivate the women to have muscles. That's what they'll say to you. It's different for men and women, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? But I just don't see why you need to go out of your way to start insulting women or insulting men. Insulting anybody. Why do you have to do that for? Why do you have to make that your mission? And I guess that's kind of what we get from the incel stuff, right?
Yeah.
I just don't see the
Yeah.
point. I just don't see the point. It's sad. It's sad. Everyone should just kind of mind their own, innit? But do you feel as though that's how things are in life, where people feel as though if they don't have something, they have to bring down somebody else who does? So incel stuff aside, just in life generally, do you feel like that's people's approach?
Question. I know you've said this before and you've given a reason as to why you do it, right? But essentially, the question you just asked, I can say, why do you look to spend a large portion of your time looking to change our mind about Christianity?
Change your mind about Christianity?
Yeah. Make us look at it in a different way. And the practices in churches and whatnot.
Because I guess I want improvement.
I know, and like I said, you've said it before. So when it is that you pretend like you didn't understand the question before, I was like, oh, interesting.
No, because it kind of implied I'm trying to make people non-Christians. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're saying change your mind about Christianity, it means I'm trying to say that Christianity is not the way to go. And I don't believe that's the case. You know what I'm saying? I believe you should stay in Christianity and be the best Christian you can be. That's what I personally believe. So I'll never try and make somebody less of a Christian. Hence the conversation last week, and I said, I'm not trying to rattle and roll people's belief systems. I have no interest in that at all.
Back to your original question about looking to, what did you say? Look to...
You talking about the Marvin Sapp, the topic of the day?
No, just before I talked about that example, you had said, do you think that degrade something?
Yeah, do you feel as though people have to bring something down if they want a particular thing? So they want something and they see other people with it, so they make people feel a particular way and bring them down. You feel like that's what you do?
I do believe that a lot of people do that, especially if it is that they're seeing people have so much joy and they're rubbing it in their faces, quote unquote, rubbing it in their faces. Yeah, they want them to join them in their misery. And if it is that you're doing that and you meet calamity, they will be rejoicing in that particular downfall.
Why are people in chat saying that you're sending for image God?
Because he's a one of those
incel
people that
I don't know
calls an incel.
Okay, because I don't know about his material, innit?
If you've ever grown up with private school boys, you'll know that being better doesn't make you superior. Crushing others does. That's the response to your question.
Okay, if you've ever grown up with private school boys, you'll know that being better doesn't make you superior, but crushing others does. Sounds very Machiavellian right there. Okay. So maybe he's saying this is what the incels know. They don't believe they know this, and so this is how they're moving. To be better than others or to get the message out, you have to destroy other people's thingy. I don't know. All right, thank you for the comment, man. Von says that guy is beyond toxic. Is he talking about image God as well?
Yep.
Damn, I've not heard, I don't know about his stuff in it, so I can't comment. But yeah, all right. Are we in a reaction?
Yes, we are not. Let's get into the reaction.
Please.
Why, you're tired of talking? Yapping your mouth.
No, only because I'm going to add something else after, innit? So
Sorry.
I didn't want to do it all.
All right, so guys, it's giving women in sports. So on Sunday, we had the quarterfinals. Preston went against Aston Villa and lost 3-0. And then you had Manchester City beat Bournemouth 2-1. And then on Saturday, Crystal Palace beat Fulham 3-0. And Brighton and Nottingham Forest both drew 0-0. Do you want me to really delve into the nitty-gritty of the games?
I think they do, you know.
All right, so Man City's FA Cup quarter-final victory. So Man City overcame a 1-0 deficit to defeat Bournemouth 2-1 in their FA Cup quarter-final. Bournemouth took an early lead through Eva Nilsson, capitalizing on a defensive error. Why am I so nervous? I hate doing this section and I'm sweating right now. Starting to Nico O'Reilly's impact in the second half proved crucial, assisting Haaland's equaliser and contributing significantly to the team's dominance. After Haaland's injury, Omar Mamouche quickly scored the winning goal for Manchester City. This victory secured Manchester City's 7th consecutive FA Cup semi-final appearance, setting up a clash with Nottingham Forest. Okay, next. Crystal Palace defeats Fulham in FA Cup quarter-final, so they secured a 3-0 victory over Fulham in the FA Cup quarter-final at Craven Cottage. Eberich? Don't do this. You lot are so out of order. This is why you wanted me to read.
I've not watched football in years.
Eberich. Nigerians. Eberich.
Just go with that one, man.
Eberich. Easy. Starred for Palace, scoring a stunning goal and providing an assist for Ismaila Sarr. Eddie Nketiah added a third goal in the second half to seal the win and send Palace to the semi-finals at Wembley. Fulham dominated the early stages but failed to capitalise on their chances while Palace punished them on the counter-attack. Fulham manager Marco Silva criticised the referee's decision not to send off Adam Walton for a foul, while Palace manager Oliver Glasner praised Easy's performance and the team's resilience. And over to you, Emmanuel, because I'm over it.
Just wanted to say there was a bit of boxing on the weekend. I have not watched the boxing, but apparently there were 2 fights that could be contenders for fight of the year, man. I believe they're on the same card. There was a women's boxing, a women's fight. I can't remember who was in it, to be honest with you. And the men's one was Tevin Farmer and William Zepeda, which I saw the highlights for. It was a serious fight. It looked like Zepeda was in trouble from like round 1 or round 2. But wait, what did I just say? Did I say Zepeda or Farmer?
Farmer and Zepeda.
No, but who did I say looked like was in trouble?
I wasn't saying.
Okay. It looked like Farmer was in trouble from like round 1 or round 2. I think he hurt his fist in the early parts of the fight. People, you hear the commentators basically say, look, just take the knee. Like, he's just taking blows to the head, body, all over the damn place, right? And it just looked like he was in trouble. But then he came back. He's a tough guy. Remember, he's a former champion as well. Former world champion. And apparently, second half of the fight, he just dominated. Also, he did knock down Zepeda, but the referee said it was a slip. I don't know why he said it was a slip, but he clearly knocked him down. And when you look at the scorecards, apparently 2 of the judges had 114. So that's a draw. And the other judge had it, I think, 7-5, so 115 to 113, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So with that particular knockdown, if that was included, you've got Tevin Farmer as a champion. You've got Tevin Farmer winning the rematch. And the reason why they had a rematch is because the first fight was controversial as well. That was, I think, end of the last year. Yeah, so this is straight after they had the rematch. And this is what's happened again. And Tevin Farmer was like, I'm not too sure I can keep doing this, man. Where I'm training hard, I'm doing everything that's necessary to win. I come put in the performance of a lifetime and I win and I just don't get the decision. You know what I'm saying? So it's bad. I think prior to that fight, Zepeda, he's undefeated. And Tevin Farmer, I think, has lost 7 fights. So this makes it 8. 5 or 7, one of them anyway. And so it's not looking good. But we'll see what happens, man. Remember, April, we've got the big fight with the Ben and Eubank. I was just about to say Ben's. But Ben and Eubank, I believe, is this month. Gonna be looking forward to that. But that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to add for the boxing.
Lovely. Time to wrap up the show. Question. I don't think Black Rob answered you, Emmanuel, but he's been typing since. Can you ask him the question again?
Yes. Mr. Black Rob and Mr. Joshua. On Wednesday, are you guys still coming? And number 2, what did you believe you were coming to talk about?
And do you want to put that out to anybody else who's listening?
Yes, everybody else.
What they thought?
Yeah. What do you think Wednesday was going to be about? Everybody in the chat. What did you think Wednesday was going to be about? Let us know while I do the wrap up. Today's been a good show, man. Thank you, Gina and Brent, for holding down the fort. You know what I mean? At the beginning. We spoke about Starmer and Trump and how they discussed productive negotiations towards a US-UK trade deal. Spoke about Trump being very angry with Putin over ceasefire negotiations. Is that relationship starting to sour? We don't know. And also about the horrible earthquake in Myanmar, man.
Did you see? Have you been seeing clips and stuff?
Yeah, horrible. Killing at least 1,700 people. Horrible. I heard you ask Gina about if she's been in an earthquake before, and you said the tremor, innit?
There was a tremor like when I was in uni
That's crazy.
back in the
man.
day.
What about you, Brent? Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Where was that?
In I want to say Blackheath.
Okay.
I want to say that. Oh, I want to say Baden Powell. It was in some sort of school facility.
Serious.
Yeah. But yes,
Okay.
I have.
Okay.
But you haven't.
Me? Yeah, I have. In Ghana.
Ah.
Yeah, I was watching TV, minding my business. Funny enough, I was sitting right under a fan. The fan didn't drop though. But yeah, it was mad. It was mad. But I believe maybe twice. Both of them in Ghana, to be fair. We also spoke about the morning after pill and how that's now set to be made free from pharmacies, man. Set to be made free. Why? Because of this unfair postcode lottery. Some people not having access to it. And also Shabana Mahmood, her new plan. She wants to, enforce that pretty much and overrule the Sentencing Council in a 2-tier justice row. And we spoke about the incels on TikTok. They've now rebranded, guys, to subs. I'm not saying that so you can look for their material and promote it. I'm basically just saying they're still out there. It may be hard to find them if you type in incel, but these people are still there. So, be careful about what your children are watching. We also spoke about the man who was released without charge after a young girl, 4 years old, and 2 adults died in a fire. And we spoke about the nearly 20 councils in England at risk of insolvency. Yeah, that at risk of insolvency. These are councils now, yeah. Why? Because there's just so much money that's been pumped into SEN. Basically, needs. It's just a lot. And also we spoke about the donors and how they've quit Prince Harry's charity once he left the UK. And in sports, thank you, Gina, for giving us the scores. Letting us know what happened in the FA Cup. And yeah, man, we spoke about Tevin Farmer and William Zepeda. And that's pretty much it. No, topic of the day, of course, man. We spoke about the church, man, and it seems everybody loves a cheerful giver. You know what I mean? And nobody wants the church to move in the direction of monthly subscriptions. I hear it. I think people will be surprised at where the church ends up in the next 50 to 75 years.
Same as NOI.
100%. And I'm pretty sure we'll all make reasons to justify the new moves like humans have done since the beginning of time. Have a blessed day, people.
Apparently, the result is that Black Rob and Joshua are going to come and talk about all things religion within the Black community.
Oh, is it?
That's what I'm seeing.
Okay. Well, but you didn't want that to be the case, though, right?
No, I didn't.
Do you want to tell the people what you want?
No.
Why?
I'm going to give the people what they want, which is religion.
So it's what people are saying, or just Black Rob is saying, those?
Black Rob and Fanan and Ed, I think. That's all the people I need to focus on because they've contributed to the question. That's what happens. But on Tuesday, we will give everybody a heads up as to if you want to tune in, this is what we're going to be talking about. And if it is that you don't, I don't want to hear any complaints. I don't want to see any complaints because you were warned.
Black Rob saying we can mix it up. We can talk about anything, man. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be about religion. You know what I mean? I prefer to just talk about anything that's productive.
I'm interested in what Joshua and Black Rob think about that Anunnaki talk and stuff, innit?
Okay.
You know, the supernatural stuff. Because there's church, there's Christianity, and then there's the other stuff. Yeah, that might be the most interesting part of it, to
Let's
be
do
honest.
that then.
Because if it is you're going back and you're talking about gods and whatnot, you're still talking about spiritual stuff anyway.
Yeah, it's linked.
It is linked. It is linked.
linked.
And I want to hear their opinions on, thank you very much, my lovely, AI and where that's going and all that kind of stuff.
So basically, it's going to be a bit of a freestyle.
Yeah.
Freestyle
Definitely.
Wednesday.
Later. Have a nice day.
All right, people. So we're going to do a bit of a freestyle, I guess.
Yeah.
Might as well just do all the headlines, only one, bam, 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 and then straight into talking.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so Wednesday, it's going to be a mix-up, guys.
100%.
Religion,
I actually
Anunnaki,
want to
AI.
hear what Black Rob and the esteemed Joshua, where they've gone. Because apparently Joshua's been in jail. That might be interesting too, innit?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember him saying that?
I can't remember, but fine.
Joshua, have you been to Penn? Because I think I remember you saying when you came out, you give your life to Christ. I don't know what happened in Penn though.
Okay.
But and I also want to know like who your sister is. You kind of intimated that she was a black activist of some sort.
That she was somebody, innit?
Yeah. And she was basically trying to put you on game on racism and that, and you kept on pushing back. So one of my goals is to make Joshua not look like he is a what did the people call him?
I don't know,
What
happened? Oh, an agent.
Yes, something, but a different word was used. But yes, an agent of destruction or
Why do you want that to be?
Because I don't think he is. I don't think based on obviously he came in hot, right, fiery, but I don't think that he is all the way twanged. Because I've gotten some messages recently of the people who heard the first episode of When It Is he introduced himself.
Okay.
And they're saying, get him to read this book. I'm like, I don't think that he is a provocateur in that sense. Disruptor, that's it. But yeah, disruptor could be a good thing though. Depends on the application of it, right? Yeah. Agent of Chaos, that's the one. And I don't think he is. I think that he is a good resource, and I think he wants the best for the black community. But he just has a different approach, just like you. You want the best, and you have a different approach to it.
This is it.
So I want people to see more of him. I wanted them to see the range, right? Because the more you hear from him on different topics and whatnot, the more you realize, oh, that's why you think the way you think.
Yeah. But to be fair, he did say in the comments just now, no supernatural, man. Logic and rationality.
Oh, so he doesn't believe in the spiritual realm that's in the Bible?
Oh, man.
It's referenced in the Bible, baby.
That's a brilliant question, bro. Brilliant question.
If you're coming to talk Bible,
Yeah.
hella supernatural stuff in the Bible.
Answer that before we look off, man.
I mean, the angels, demons, that's supernatural stuff, baby.
Maybe he's seen an angel, though.
What does that mean? So he's saying it's logic, though?
Yeah.
But that's still supernatural. I don't want something.
Why? If you've seen it, it's not spooky, innit? It's real.
No, sorry. What do you think I mean by supernatural? It's outside the realms of natural, right?
Yeah, but if he's seen
super.
it, no, but he believe he might believe that angels exist, but physically. Do you get what I'm saying? They didn't come from nowhere. They were just angels.
We'll find out on Wednesday. Tune in on Wednesday.
Yeah, man.
Tune in, because I think he has some more hot takes, especially about the black community. Yeah, I think he has some hot takes on dating preferences too. Because you know how you think that mixed race people aren't really black people. I don't think he thinks that. I think he looks in the mirror and he sees a strong black man. Sanka, you're dead.
I never said black mixed race people.
No, I'm just. People. This is for the entertainment piece at the end of this show. I'm getting what is it? What Gino calls it? Foreplay.
There we
Getting
go.
people warmed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, it's beautiful.
Yeah. But I do feel like he has a few hot takes, and obviously Black Rob, seeing as he's going to wear his mask, you can't tell where he's going to go. He's going to talk about women. You understand? He always wants to basically just put him under his heel, and with the mask, he'll be able to do it.
Can you imagine?
He'll be able to do it. Foreplay, bro.
Well, I'm pretty sure it'll be a good episode, man. Anybody else wanna join us? That's that likes these type of topics. Is there anybody else you wanna?
Yeah. Anybody wants to pull up? So it will be myself, Emmanuel. Margs is probably going to be in. Josh and Black Rob. We got one more seat.
To be fair, it's a full house then. Isn't it?
No, that's 5. We got one more seat. We could have 6.
Ramsey, if you're about, that would be a diabolical episode.
Stuff a lot.
Come on, Ramsey. Let's make this one for the. Do you have to end early on Wednesday, Brent?
I might, I just only found out because obviously my Wednesdays are normally at Spotify, but since they've moved, I think I only found out on Saturday that they plan to start back in a new space on Wednesday, but I haven't yet heard like what time or whatnot in it. But Either which way, I will. There'll be enough fire in the morning before I leave anyway, and I can leave you all to it because I'll set up where the camera's switching without me needing to be here.
Come on, beautiful.
Come on,
Beautiful. But just
Come
in
on.
case, guys, Wednesday, if you're not there early or 8 o'clock on Wednesday, you're gonna miss the headlines.
that's stuff for a
'Cause
lot.
we're gonna do the headlines and go straight into business. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna open up people's mind. Hopefully, people learn something new, man. Hear something new. You know what I mean? Hopefully, people hear something new.
And yeah, can you talk about this African spirituality stuff as well, please? Because someone just said, Iman, ask your elders about stopping the rain.
Oh yeah, no, that was something. That's something different though. Basically, 'cause I asked him about that last week, innit?
You asked your elders?
No, TC. Because TC said he's seen it, innit? So I said,
Oh, he's seen it.
Yeah.
Rah.
So I asked him about it.
So Dr. Joshua, because Joshua only believes things he sees, innit? Is that what you're saying?
He probably believes like Eurocentric stuff, innit?
Eurocentric stuff.
Yeah, you
Why?
know
Is
what I
that
mean?
because of his white side?
I never said that.
What are you saying? Speak plainly so I don't look to basically misconstrue.
Logic
You know how we
and-
just like people misconstruing stuff. What's the
logic
term
and
he says?
rationality.
What's nebulous?
Nebulous.
No nebulous shenanigans. Only parliamentary procedure.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man.
It's gonna be a crazy one.
Black Hope said bring some Kleenex too then.
For who? For the women?
I don't know.
Black Rob, there won't be any woman here. You don't have to worry about that. Gosh, man. Why is he always going that way?
It's diabolical. work,
Always. Rest. You're married, man. Gosh.
man. This guy.
I don't know what's wrong with him. God damn it.
Spiritual prostitution.
Yeah, Black Rob, you have to get onto him, man, about what he actually believes in, you know? The pick and mix and that.
Don't get on to me, man.
Man said today he don't go church anymore. He attends the nation's gatherings. That's the first time you've said that. It's a big day you said that, man. Big day you said that. That's cool, man.
That don't mean nothing because church is the congregation, isn't it? It's not the buildings that you guys don't want to pay for. So you know.
You see the
You know
attacks
what I'm
now? You see the attacks now? They're coming.
What difference does it
They're
make?
coming.
Listen, man, if you guys come for me, hey, don't let me blow this place up.
Spiritual prostitution.
Hey, because what I know you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'll make people start sweating. But it's all right.
My.
It'll be a good day, man. It'll be a good day.
My. You know, Amy believes in all that kind of stuff you've been saying, the pick and mix of the spiritual prostitution stuff.
Amy knows, man.
Yeah, man.
Amy knows. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Joshua just said, I'm ready to cook. Beautiful work. As long as it's about the edification of the people.
Always. I think that's what he's on, you know. I think every single one of his past girlfriends have been dark skinned.
Oh man, that's an easy way to lose.
Foreplay, baby.
That's an easy way to lose an argument on the show, you know.
How? By saying I've had dark skinned black girls?
Either way, if he says only that, I won't say fetish.
Oh, right.
Him
okay.
saying no, so see, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
Just plead the fifth, man. Plead
God
the fifth.
damn it.
But yeah, man. Look, Black Hope said I'll bring anointed oil.
You think he was going to start shaking when he put that the olive oil in it?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? the oil that you paid for. Man, you people and your spooky stuff. Anyway,
Oh man!
you know what?
See, Joshua said, "Yeah, facts. Every single one of his girlfriends have been dark skinned."
1 billion of them. Beautiful.
He said 1,000,000,000%. 1,000,000,000%.
Good.
1,000,000,000%.
All
I'm
right
telling you,
then.
Josh is one of us, man.
Yeah, man.
Josh is one of us. Cheap tricks won't work.
Dope.
He's got your number, Emmanuel, man.
That is what we call impossible.
He ain't going to fall victim to nebulous antics, nebulous shenanigans. He's got your number.
No, but you know, to be fair, I feel like it's going to be a very like wholesome conversation, innit? Because I don't believe we're on different sides, though. You know what I mean? Hopefully not. Anyway,
No, I think you're on the same side.
I think everybody
Because
here wants
even the
same thing.
mindset thing, you preach that all the time.
What thing? The mindset. Thing?
Change your mindset, racism's gone.
No, I definitely didn't say that. I'm saying it will stay and they will not change. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we need to do something for ourselves. You know what I mean? But this is why, again, I'm not for any bad stuff, man. I just want black people to believe in what they believe in as long as it makes them better. You know what I mean?
Easy welcome to the cookout.
Who?
The mixed race guy, Josh.
He's there. You know what I'm saying?
He's already there, you're saying?
He's there. He doesn't need to be welcomed. He's
Oh,
part, he's part of us, man.
You're saying you wouldn't need to welcome him because he already pushed himself in. Made himself part of the furniture.
He's one of us.
He brought his back to asking black women to eat the plus one. That's what you're saying. He sneaks
See
in.
what I'm saying?
Josh, are you hearing this?
This is
foreplay.
terrible. This is terrible.
All right,
Oh,
cool.
man.
We've done enough. Obviously, that's a trailer for Wednesday.
Yeah, man. You know what?
Jesse Martin Marks and Mix now. Cooking.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You know what the thing is, man? I think maybe what we should do is start the show 7:30.
Yeah.
In terms of like put the
Just let
link
it
up.
run. I see what happens when it is people walk in.
No.
Oh, no.
That is too dangerous. Too dangerous.
That's what
No, I'm just talking about in terms of likes. Starting from early so we get the
Serious?
likes to 200.
And if it gets to the 200, we start talking.
I'm telling you.
Only when it touches 200, we start talking.
I'm telling you.
We might not get 200 people though.
Remember the day when we did the whole show your pictures?
Should we run that back?
We want to talk about
'Cause
Shayla.
I don't know what Curtis Jackson looks like, and he's been typing a lot recently.
You know what I'm saying? We know what Antonia Hansen looks like. Christy looks like. T looks like.
All buttes,
Amy looks like.
all buttes, all
You know what I'm
buttes,
saying?
all buttes.
Big up everybody showing their pictures and that.
Every
Black
single
Rob
last person.
looks like, kind of. You know what I
Every
mean?
single last person.
So yeah, man. But yes, it's gonna be a good one, man. But you know, I think we should bring that back. You see how that motivates and incentivizes people to hit the like button?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah. TC, I don't know what TC looks like. I don't know what unknown looks like, you know? Maybe we should do that. We should basically have the mods basically ban everybody or restrict everybody from participating in the chat unless you have pictures up on that day. Just on Wednesday.
Just on Wednesday,
Just
guys.
on Wednesday. Let us see you whilst you're seeing us. Right? Let's see how many provocateurs, angels of chaos are in the chat. Let me see how many Greek people are in the chat. How many Jewish people are in the chat. How many Asian people are in the chat.
Come on.
We're
all one. You know what I mean?
Come on.
We're all, what do they call it? POF?
Hey, Gina just said that she might be coming in.
Gina Jizz, coming then. Are you sure, yeah? All right, then.
Bring your oil.
That would be good, man. That would be good. So basically, we have one more seat for Ivor Ramsey.
One more seat? We just said 6 people. If Ginger is coming.
Yeah, so Ivor Ramsey or
to
Gina
pick.
Jizz. Yeah.
You're saying Astafala or Gina Gist?
Or Christy. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. I have to basically...
Come on, Christy.
No,
I'm joking,
it's not that's not a given because I have to basically make it up to Christy. I've obviously done something extremely wrong and I hold my hand up. I actually did it 100%. But I need to basically like make it up to her before she graces us with her presence again.
Oh, Brent, man.
Yeah, look, sometimes I just go overboard. But anyway.
Yes.
It would be great to have either Ramsey or Christy. I mean, sorry, you see what I'm doing? She's in my mind, man. Ramsey or Gin and Gist. But I think the people would prefer Ramsey. I don't know if it is like Gin and Gist too much. I just said that. I don't know if it is that informed by anything.
No, people love Gin and Gist.
What do you
man.
think? Not as in, like, as a person in the studio. Because Ramsey, he just swears for swearing sick. he just swears. He's got like Tourette's or something.
Man.
And Gin and Gist is a bit more measured, you know? So who should we do a little poll? Should we do a little poll? Ramsey or Gin and Gist? I ain't seen Reggie for a minute. I don't know where Reggie is.
Where is Reggie?
I don't know where Reggie is. Start the poll. Ramsey or Astafallah.
Or Eddie as well, man.
No. Sorry. I'm just reading what this says because it says yes or no. I'm just reading what it says.
Yeah, man. Eddie, are you coming in?
And
Eddie, are you going to come to the UK one day?
he's going to come to live show.
Oh, big up Eddie, man.
Yeah.
Come on, Eddie.
He's already told me that he's saving up.
Eddie, you need to come backstage, you know, and do the ad-libs and stuff.
Backstage.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Ooh. So when we're on stage and everyone's talking at a live show, you be, yeah, that's right. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't say that.
What does he say?
You see how you said it like, yeah, baby.
And see what I'm saying? I never said any of this stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, you see, you read perhaps I shouldn't say this. There's money everywhere. It comped. What's wrong with me?
Oh, hey, I'm
Who
telling
should
you.
get a seat.
If anyone thought me or Margs is the worst, yeah, you will be mistaken.
No, I don't think this. I don't think anybody thinks that. I think they know full well.
They know it's you, innit?
They know full well.
Oh, man.
God is doing a proper work on me. A proper work on me. All right. So the question is, who should get a seat, Ramsey or Gin and Gist? Oh, it's already blazing.
Okay.
It's already blazing. Ooh, 25 votes so far. Ramsey has 43%. Gin and Gist now has 62. Ooh.
Come on.
All right. We'll give it 3 minutes. We'll give it 3 minutes only. 3 minutes only. All right, now it's up to 50 votes.
Come on.
Gin and Gist, 60%.
Yeah, Gin and Gist. What happened? What happened? What happened, Brent? Wait, we see that I'm not seeing. What happened?
I don't know if it is that he can function if there's no woman in the room, though. So him doing ad-libs wouldn't look like. He would just be mute.
Yeah, for real.
Do you understand?
That's true. Nah, yeah.
Unless Ramsey's wearing some colourful, you know? And I don't know how Josh is going to come in. I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
He might look like a new gen.
Oh, goodness me.
I'm going to close the poll. Well, I can't. It's 50-50.
Oh, man.
It's
This is tough.
50-50. Yeah.
But it shows how amazing both of these people are.
100%.
You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
I don't know if it is that people are just pressing Gin and Just because they think it's a drink or something.
No, but
But she is like a drink, right?
That is
A
true.
shot of gin.
You know what I'm saying?
Some people say she likes to drink too much.
What is it? I've never heard this before.
Yeah, some people talk, man.
Too much.
God damn it.
Big up Gin and Gist, man.
So let me close it. I'm just going to pick. You will just see on the day
Yeah.
who I've picked. Ramsey might not even be available. Astaghfirullah. He might not be available.
But yes.
Anywho, I am tasty.
Gin and Gist, you started.
You see? Did
started.
it even need any provocation? Didn't need.
You started.
Can you imagine?
Oh, man.
Oh gosh. All right, cool. Let's end this. Let's wrap this up.
Let's do it. Sorry.
I might have to get a little clip to put on the songboard for that. Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Yo, I love that. Yo, Eddie, you gotta teach me, man. I love that voice. I love it. I love it.
Did you?
Big up Eddie, man. Big up Eddie.
Yo, you've got it locked on already. What do you mean?
Serious?
Yeah, man. You
Oh,
got
man.
it. Nailed it.
Come on.
Nailed it. All right.
Yes.
All of y'all get red cards. I don't know why I'm seeing too much laughter here. All of y'all get red cards, right? Right? We lure y'all in to catch the predators, man.
You know what I mean?
You understand? All of y'all red cards. Disgusted.
Diabolical, man. Yeah, see, look, big up Eddie, man. See, he said thanks, E, man. That's right. Thank you, Eddie. You're my guy. You have to teach me, honestly. I love it. I love it. The ad-libs are perfect. No one has had ad-libs this good since bloody Young Jeezy.
100%.
Perfect timing,
100%.
right duration, perfect cadence.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Might need to pick up the pen and then just ask Eddie to ad-lib.
That might just be the thing. All right, cool. It's decided. He has the seat on Discord. That is what we're going to do. That's
Come
what
on.
we'll do.
Come
and
on.
that means I have to bring in Gin and Gist.
Yeah, for real.
So there's at least somebody, you know, with
You can motivate.
OG breasts to basically
Yo, let's end the show. Hey, we'll see you guys tomorrow, man.
All right.
Peace. Sorry.
Don't think he's not going to reply to you in Discord saying, I missed that.